We are going to try something a little bit different in this video. I'm going to do two videos this week, and they're both going to be unboxing videos. So I have a DYS 4-in-1 ESC here, and I have the Maytec VTX here. We're going to start with the Maytec, so I'll get rid of that one. I've already opened this. As you can see from the sticker, this is a 40 channel switchable power video transmitter, and it can run between 7 and 27 volts, so that'll run straight off of your battery. Like I said, I've already opened this one just to have a look, so we'll pour out all the contents. Oh, there's one more thing in there. There's actually two more things in there. Okay, so I guess we'll start with these. These aren't really showing up very well on the camera, but these are little plastic heat shrinks, so if you want, you can put your video transmitter in there, heat it all up, and they will shrink around it and stop the electronics shorting out on anything in your frame. That's fairly common. Most of the other video transmitters come with those already on the transmitter, but there's a reason why they don't bother on this one. So this is the transmitter itself, and these are the antennas. So what you will notice on the bottom here, you have a little UFL connector, and both of these cables have a little UFL connector. So this one is an actual antenna. You can just poke this out of your frame and it just gives you a little tiny dinky dipole, well, single pole antenna. And that's great, you don't need anything else for that one. And this one has a SMA connector on it. So if you've got a better antenna, like a circularly polarized antenna, you can use this cable, put that on, and just screw your antenna onto the end there. So one thing I would recommend doing with this is these little connectors, well, if I can get it on, they're quite stiff when you put them together, but they're also not the strongest of joints. So what I would probably do is, once you've figured out which one of these you want, is put that on there and then give it a squirt of hot glue just to hold it in place. Otherwise, in a crash, it'll pop the antenna like that, and then effectively you'll be powering your video transmitter with no antenna on it, which means you run the risk of damaging the transmitter chips, which you don't really want to do. So a little bit of hot glue can save you some hassle there. So now we come down to the actual transmitter itself. On this side you've only got the UFL connector, and on this side you've got all the electronics and all of the important things. So feature wise, this little video transmitter puts itself up with the big boys. So this is a switchable power, and obviously 40 channels. It will run straight off your battery, so you've got your battery connections here, and your video connections are here. So you've got video in, audio in, 5 volts and ground. I believe that means it will put 5 volts out to the camera, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to need to double check that. I'll put a note across the bottom as to whether it does or not. So this puts itself up with the TBS Unify and the Immersion Tramp as far as features go. And the reason for that is this set of pins here. So this is another serial port. What that lets you do is connect this into a serial port on your flight controller, and then you can actually change the channels and the power settings through your flight controller. As far as I'm aware, these are the only 3 transmitters that can do it. And that's actually really handy. That means you can change your video power and channel off of your OSD, or in the case if you have a Tyrannus or one of the FreeSky radios, actually off of the radio itself. Now this transmitter is actually quite large. I have a, whoops, if I can pick it up, I have a TBS Unify here, and if I put them next to each other, you'll notice that the Maytec one's actually a little bit bigger. Now this is only the 5 volt Unify, and I know that the HV one is slightly larger than this, but this is the largest of the 3 transmitters. This is bigger as well than the Tramp. I've been using the Tramp in most of my other builds, so this one is actually bigger. And the main reason for that is these two holes here. So the feature that this video transmitter's got that the other two don't is basically those two holes. So this is just a normal PDB with its 30 by 30 holes, and what you'll notice is those holes there line up perfectly with two of the holes on the stack. So what this means is this video transmitter you can actually put on your stack. So you can go PDB at the bottom, flight controller, and then this up the top. Now it only takes the two sides, so the other two, I'll bring this back, the other two sides are open. It's just a little bit over halfway. I've seen a few frames where that actually comes in really useful because the top sort of would hit it if it was a full size. But it isn't. And they've utilised the extra board space quite well on this. You've got two little buttons on the side. They're labelled A and B. There's no manual with this, so I've got absolutely no idea what these buttons do, but I suspect one of them will change the power and the other one will change the channel and the band. And what they've done here, rather than on the Tramp and the Unify, which just has one light which just flashes a sort of code sequence that you've got to watch, this one has a set of LEDs here for the band, a set of LEDs here for the channel, and a set of LEDs here for the power setting. So you're always going to know what the power setting is and what the channel is just by looking straight at the thing. So yeah, that's just a quick look at this this transmitter. I'll be using this in an upcoming build, so I'll probably link to that once it's underway. And yeah, that's the first of the videos today. The second one's going to be the ESCs.